1. Today we've got a real treat for you, a 1984 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This beauty is priced at $9,900. And let me tell you, it's worth every penny. First off, just take a look at that stunning Balboa blue metallic paint job. It's the kind of color that turns heads and makes you feel like royalty behind the wheel. And when you slip inside, you're greeted by luxurious dark blue leather seats that are as comfortable as they are stylish. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A car from 1984 must have a ton of miles on it, right? Well, think again. This Eldorado has just 117,000 original miles, which is practically nothing for a Cadillac of this vintage. It's clear that the previous owner took great care of this car, and it shows in every detail. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 4.1-liter V8 engine that purrs like a kitten. And with a 4-speed automatic transmission, you'll be cruising down the highway in smooth, effortless style. But that's not all. This Eldorado comes loaded with features that were cutting edge back in the day, and still impress today. You've got a power antenna, ice-cold air conditioning, and a heater that'll keep you toasty on even the chilliest of mornings. And if you're worried about security, don't be. This car has been upgraded with a Viper alarm system that includes keyless entry and remote start. Plus, the stereo system has been completely overhauled with a Pioneer head unit, speakers, amplifier, and subwoofers that'll make your music sound better than anything you'll hear in a newer car. But perhaps the most impressive feature of this Eldorado is the power moonroof. It's a rare option for the Biarritz model, and it adds an extra touch of class and sophistication to an already stunning vehicle. And with dual vanity mirrors that offer both low and high brightness settings, you'll always look your best behind the wheel. Of course, no car is perfect, and this Eldorado is no exception. The seller admits that there are some minor imperfections here and there, which is to be expected for a car that's nearly 40 years old. But overall, this is a vehicle that's been lovingly maintained and cared for, and it shows in every detail. So if you're in the market for a classic car that's got style, power, and plenty of features to boot, this Eldorado is definitely worth checking out. With its stunning good looks, smooth ride, and impressive upgrades, it's the kind of car that'll make you feel like a king or queen every time you get behind the wheel. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Head on over to Craigslist and make this Eldorado yours today. 2. All right, folks, let's dive a little deeper into this 1979 Chrysler 300 and why it's such a special car. First of all, can we talk about those T-tops? I mean, come on, how cool is that? Not only do they look awesome, but they also make this car even rarer than it already is. With less than 300 T-top models ever built, you'll be driving a true unicorn on the road. And let's not forget about the power behind this beauty. With a 360 HP engine, you'll have plenty of oomph to get you where you need to go. Whether you're cruising down the highway or hitting the back roads, this car has the power to handle it all. And with an automatic transmission, you can sit back and enjoy the ride without having to worry about shifting gears. But what really sets this car apart is its history. With only 3 owners over the past 40-plus years, you know this car has been cherished and well-maintained. And the fact that it comes with all the original paperwork from the original owner, that's just the cherry on top. You'll have everything from the window sticker to the owner's manual, giving you a glimpse into the car's past and making it feel even more special. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A car this old must have some issues, right? Well, think again. The seller has made sure this car is in top condition, with new tires, mufflers, spark plugs, and even a rebuilt carburetor. It's been serviced and is ready to hit the road, so you won't have to worry about any unexpected surprises. And can we talk about that white paint job? It's so classic and timeless, and it looks absolutely stunning on this car. It's the kind of color that never goes out of style, and it's sure to turn heads wherever you go. But here's the thing. You've got to act fast if you want to make this car yours. The seller isn't interested in any trades, and they don't need any help selling it. They know what they've got, and they're confident it'll sell quickly. So if you're on the fence, now's the time to make a decision. In conclusion, this Chrysler 300 T-Top is a rare gem that's not to be missed. With its powerful engine, low mileage, excellent condition, and rich history, it's the kind of car that comes along once in a lifetime. So if you're a collector, an enthusiast, or just someone who appreciates a beautiful car, head on over to Craigslist and make this beauty yours. Trust me, you won't regret it. 3. Feast your eyes on this 1963 Chevrolet Biscan, currently up for grabs on Craigslist for just $10,000. Now, I know what you're thinking. A car this old must be in rough shape, right? Well, the seller admits that it's a restoration project, but don't let that scare you off just yet. First of all, let's talk about what this car has going for it. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful LS6 engine paired with a 4L 84-speed automatic transmission. That means plenty of power and smooth shifting, making this car a blast to drive. And with a digital dash, you'll have all the modern conveniences you need while still enjoying that classic car feel. Now, I know the seller says the car is in fair condition, and that's something to keep in mind. It definitely needs some TLC, but the good news is that the seller has already started the restoration process. They've got all new trim and bumpers, grille, headlight trim, trunk trim, and tail lights ready to go. Plus, both side door trims are in stainless steel. And all the baggings, front floor pans, and trunk pans are included in boxes and packaging. The seller even has a receipt of purchase for all these parts, which they're willing to sell separately for $4,000. But that's not all. This Biscan also has a new exhaust system from front to rear and a new fuel tank. The only downside is that the wheels have been sold, so you'll need to find some new ones to complete the look. Now let's talk about the interior. The seller admits that it needs some work, and that's definitely something to keep in mind. But with a little elbow grease and some new upholstery, you could have this car looking like $1 million in no time. And let's not forget about the exterior. The seller says it needs to be painted, and that's definitely a project you'll want to tackle. But just imagine how stunning this car will look with a fresh coat of paint and all those new trim pieces in place. Overall, this Biscan is a fantastic project car for anyone who loves classic automobiles. It's got a powerful engine, smooth transmission, and tons of potential. And with all those new parts included in the sale, you'll have a great head start on the restoration process. But as the seller says, this car is for serious buyers only. No scammers or tire kickers allowed. If you're interested, give them a call or shoot them a text. And if they don't answer right away, just leave a message and they'll get back to you. So what are you waiting for? If you've got the skills and the passion to take on a project like this, head on over to Craigslist and make this Chevrolet yours today. With a little hard work and dedication, you could be cruising down the street in one of the coolest classic cars around. 4. Get ready to travel back in time with this incredible 1939 Dodge D11 Coupe that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This beauty is priced at just $14,500, and let me tell you, it's worth every penny. First off, can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that this car is rust-free? That's right, you heard me correctly. This 1939 Dodge has managed to survive over 80 years without any pesky rust eating away at its beautiful body. That alone is a testament to how well this car has been cared for over the years. Under the hood, you'll find a flathead V6 engine that purrs like a kitten. And with a 3-on-the-tree manual transmission, you'll feel like you're driving a piece of history every time you get behind the wheel. But don't worry. This car isn't stuck in the past. It's been upgraded with a new carburetor, brakes, alternator, and even a new wiring harness that's been upgraded to 12 volts. That means you'll have all the modern conveniences you need while still enjoying that classic car feel. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A car this old must have some issues, right? Well, the seller is upfront about the fact that the driver's side glass is missing and the headliner and interior need some work. But hey, that's all part of the charm of owning a classic car. And the good news is that most of the parts you'll need, including the turn signal switch and air cleaner, are already in the trunk. All you have to do is put them back where they belong. But perhaps the best part about this Dodge is that it's a daily driver. That's right. You can actually take this car out on the road and enjoy it every single day. And with a clean California title and current registration, you won't have to worry about any legal issues holding you back. Now, the seller is open to trades, but they're pretty specific about what they're looking for. No project cars allowed. They want something that's ready to go. And it has to be a pre-smog 2-door car. But if you've got something that fits the bill, who knows? You might just be able to swap your ride for this incredible piece of automotive history. So what are you waiting for? If you're a fan of classic cars and you're looking for something that's both beautiful and functional, this D11 is the car for you. With its rust-free body, powerful engine, and modern upgrades, it's the perfect blend of old and new. And at just $14,500, it's a steal of a deal. But don't just take my word for it. Head on over to Craigslist and check out the ad for yourself. And if you're interested, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller. This car is sure to go fast, so you don't want to miss your chance to own a piece of automotive history. 5. Get ready to feast your eyes on this incredible 1972 Chevrolet Monte Carlo that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This beauty is priced at just $9,000, and let me tell you, it's a steal of a deal. First off, let's talk about what makes this Monte Carlo so special. Under the hood, you'll find a massive 402 big block engine that's just begging to be unleashed. And with a turbo 400 transmission and a 12-bolt posi rear end, this car is built for speed and performance. But don't worry, it's not all about the power. This Monte Carlo also has some seriously cool features like bucket seats with a center airplane shifter that'll make you feel like you're flying down the road. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A car this old must be in rough shape, right? Well, think again. The seller says that the body is very straight, with the exception of a few minor issues. There's some rust on the rear windshield quarters and the two rear quarters need to be replaced, but hey, that's all part of the charm of owning a classic car. And the good news is that the seller already has two rear quarters ready to go, so you won't have to hunt them down yourself. But perhaps the most impressive thing about this Monte Carlo is the interior. It's all original, from the black vinyl to the black carpeting. Sure, there are a few tears here and there, but that's to be expected in a car that's almost 50 years old. And honestly, those little imperfections just add to the character of this incredible machine. Now, I know some of you might be worried about the mechanical aspects of this car. After all, the seller hasn't tried to start it yet. But don't let that scare you off. The engine, transmission, and rear end are all original to the car, which means they were built to last. And with a little bit of TLC, I have no doubt that this Monte Carlo will be up and running in no time. But perhaps the best part about this car is the price. At just $9,000, it's an absolute bargain. You'd be hard-pressed to find another Monte Carlo in this condition for that kind of money. And with the original engine, transmission, and rear end still intact, you know you're getting a car that's built to last. Now, the seller is pretty clear about what they're looking for. They're not interested in trades at this time, so if you've got cash in hand, this is the car for you. And if you have any questions or want more details, just give Tom a call or shoot him a text. He's happy to answer any questions you might have, but be warned. This car is sure to go fast. With its incredible features, original interior, and bargain price, it's the kind of car that classic car enthusiasts dream about. So if you're interested, don't hesitate. Pick up the phone and make this Chevrolet yours today. And one last thing. If you're a scammer looking to help the seller sell this car, don't even bother. They're not interested in your games and neither are we. This car is for serious buyers only, so if that's you, what are you waiting for? Make this incredible machine yours today. 6. Do I have a treat for you today? Get ready to feast your eyes on this amazing 1977 Chevrolet Camaro that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This beauty is priced at just $9,000, and let me tell you, it's worth every penny. First off, let's talk about what's under the hood. This Camaro has a rebuilt engine that's just begging to be unleashed on the open road. And with a 4-speed transmission that's been equipped with a shift kit, you'll be able to take full advantage of all that power. But that's not all. This car also has a rebuilt Holley 4-barrel carburetor and a camshaft that'll make your heart race every time you step on the gas. But the upgrades don't stop there. This Camaro also has a brand new gas tank, so you won't have to worry about any leaks or issues. And with a Flowmaster exhaust system, you'll be turning heads everywhere you go. Trust me, there's nothing quite like the sound of a classic Camaro roaring down the street. Now, I know some of you might be wondering about the interior. The seller admits that it needs some work, but hey, that's all part of the fun of owning a project car. And with a Pioneer stereo system already installed, you'll be able to cruise in style while you work on the rest of the interior. But perhaps the most eye-catching thing about this Camaro is the exterior. The orange paint job is sure to turn heads, and with Corvette rally wheels and BF Goodrich tires, this car looks like it's ready to take on the world. And don't worry about the brakes. They've been completely redone, so you can drive with confidence knowing that you'll be able to stop on a dime. Now, I know the seller mentions that there are some cosmetic flaws, but let's be real. That's to be expected in a car that's over 40 years old. And honestly, those little imperfections just add to the character of this incredible machine. Plus, with only 35,000 miles on the odometer, you know that this car has plenty of life left in it. So what are you waiting for? If you're looking for a classic Camaro that's been upgraded in all the right places, this is the car for you. And at just $9,000, it's an absolute steal. You'd be hard-pressed to find another Camaro in this condition with these kinds of upgrades for that kind of money. But don't just take my word for it. Head on over to Craigslist and check out the ad for yourself. And if you're interested, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller. This car is sure to go fast, so you don't want to miss your chance to own a piece of American muscle car history. And one last thing. If you're a fan of classic cars and you're not already subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? I'm always on the lookout for the best deals on Craigslist, and I love sharing my finds with all of you. So hit that subscribe button and join the community of car enthusiasts who love classic rides as much as I do. 7. Get ready to feast your eyes on this amazing 1979 Mercury Cougar that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This beauty is priced at just $5,000 or best offer. And let me tell you, it's got a story that'll make you fall in love with it even more. First off, let's talk about the history of this incredible car. It was originally garage kept by the seller's grandmother in Illinois, which means it was well loved and taken care of from the very beginning. And when the seller drove it all the way to Arizona to give it to their mother, you know it must have been in great shape to make that kind of trip. But sadly, the seller's mother passed away, and now they're looking to find a new home for this classic Cougar. And while they originally wanted to keep it for themselves, they've decided to give someone else the chance to own a piece of automotive history. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A car from 1979 must be in rough shape, right? Well, think again. The seller says that this Cougar is in decent condition, and I have no reason to doubt them. After all, it's been garage kept and well maintained for most of its life. But what really makes this car special is what's under the hood. With a powerful V8 engine, this Cougar is ready to roar down the highway at a moment's notice. And while the odometer might be stuck at 42,000 miles, the seller estimates that it's really got about 50,000 miles on it. That's because they had the transmission fixed at one point, and the mechanic accidentally broke the odometer in the process. But hey, that just adds to the character of this classic car, right? Now, I know some of you might be hesitant to buy a car with a broken odometer, but let me put your mind at ease. This Cougar comes with a clear title, which means you won't have to worry about any legal issues down the road, and with a price tag of just $5,000 or best offer, it's an absolute steal for a car with this kind of history and character. But don't just take my word for it. Head on over to Craigslist and check out the ad for yourself. And if you're interested, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller. This car is sure to go fast, so you don't want to miss your chance to own a piece of American automotive history. And one last thing. If you're a fan of classic cars and you're not already subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? I'm always on the lookout for the best deals on Craigslist, and I love sharing my finds with all of you. So hit that subscribe button and join the community of car enthusiasts who love classic rides as much as I do. 8. Get ready to feast your eyes on this incredible 1975 Chevrolet Nova that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This beauty is priced at $13,500, and let me tell you, it's worth every penny. First off, let's talk about what makes this Nova so special. It's a factory 4-speed car, which means it was built for performance from the very beginning. And with a massive 454 big block engine under the hood, this car is an absolute beast. But the upgrades don't stop there. The seller has recently installed a new cam, which means this Nova is ready to roar down the street at a moment's notice. But what really sets this car apart is the attention to detail. The seller has a binder full of paperwork, including the original build sheet, which is like a treasure map for car enthusiasts. It's rare to find a classic car with this kind of documentation, and it just goes to show how well loved and cared for this Nova has been over the years. And let's talk about the rest of the upgrades. This Nova has disc brakes and a posy rear end, which means it's got the stopping power and traction to match its impressive engine. And with a paint job that's only a few years old and powder-coated wheels, this car looks as good as it runs. But perhaps the best thing about this Nova is how fun it is to drive. The seller says it runs and drives awesome, and I have no reason to doubt them. With a 4-speed manual transmission and all that power under the hood, this car is a true driver's machine. And with only 17,234 miles on the odometer, you know it's got plenty of life left in it. Now, I know the price tag might seem a little steep at $13,500, but trust me, This car is worth every penny. The seller is firm on their price, and I can't blame them. With a clean, clear title on hand and a car that's ready to hop in and drive, this Nova is a rare find in today's market. But don't just take my word for it. Head on over to Craigslist and check out the ad for yourself. And if you're interested, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller. They're moving and need this car to go to a new home. So if you've got the cash and the love for classic American muscle, this Nova is the car for you. And one last thing, if you're a fan of classic cars and you're not already subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? I'm always on the lookout for the best deals on Craigslist, and I love sharing my finds with all of you. So hit that subscribe button and join the community of car enthusiasts who love classic rides as much as I do. 9. We've got something really special for you. A 1967 Ford Thunderbird that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This beauty is priced at just $10,900, and let me tell you, it's an absolute steal. First off, I have to apologize for a small mistake in the listing. The seller accidentally listed this car as a 1966 Mustang, but after doing some research and talking to the seller directly, I can confirm that it's actually a Ford. But don't let that little mix-up deter you. This car is still an absolute gem. Under the hood, you'll find a 200 cubic inch 6-cylinder engine that's been completely rebuilt. That's right, this car has been given a new lease on life, and it's ready to hit the road like never before. And with a fully synchronized 3-speed manual transmission, you'll have complete control over the power at your fingertips. But what really sets this Thunderbird apart is the level of care and attention that's gone into its restoration. The seller has receipts for all the work that's been done, including the engine rebuild, so you know that no expense has been spared in bringing this car back to its former glory. And let me tell you, it shows. The paint is a stunning shade of red that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. And while the odometer is rolled over, you can tell that this car has been lovingly cared for throughout its life. It's got that perfect patina that only comes with age, but it's still in excellent condition overall. Now, I know some of you might be hesitant to buy a car sight unseen, but I've got some good news for you. The seller, Randy, is a friend of the owner, and he's more than happy to answer any questions you might have about the car. Just give him a call or shoot him a text at the number provided, and he'll be glad to help you out. And if you're worried about the location, don't be. This Thunderbird is located in Kelso, Washington, which is just a short drive from Portland or Seattle. And with a clean title on hand, you won't have to worry about any legal hassles when it comes time to transfer ownership. So what are you waiting for? If you're in the market for a classic car that's been given a new lease on life, this 1967 Ford Thunderbird is the one for you. With its rebuilt engine, stunning paint job, and overall excellent condition, it's the kind of car that you'll be proud to show off at any car show or cruise in. But don't just take my word for it. Head on over to Craigslist and check out the ad for yourself. And if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to Randy. He's a great guy and he's more than happy to help you out. So what are you waiting for? Make this Thunderbird yours today and start living your classic car dreams. Trust me, you won't regret it. 10. We've just come across an absolutely stunning 1966 Ford Mustang that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This beauty is priced at just $12,500, and let me tell you, it's worth every penny. First things first, let's talk about the condition of this classic pony car. The seller has listed it as being in excellent condition, and based on the description, I have no reason to doubt that. This Mustang has been completely rebuilt mechanically, and there are receipts to prove all the work that's been done, including a full engine rebuild. That's the kind of transparency and attention to detail that you love to see in a classic car listing. Under the hood, you'll find a 200 cubic inch 6-cylinder engine that's paired with a 3-speed fully synchronized transmission. This is the kind of drivetrain that's built to last, and with the recent rebuild, you can bet it's running like a top. And with rear-wheel drive, this Mustang is going to be an absolute blast to drive. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, oh, but what about the odometer reading? Well, the seller has been upfront about the fact that the odometer has rolled over, so while it shows 100,000 miles, the actual mileage is likely higher. But honestly, with a classic car like this, the mileage is less important than the overall condition and the care that's been put into it. And based on the description, it's clear that this Mustang has been loved and well-maintained throughout its life. The seller also mentions that the car is being listed for a friend, and they've provided contact information for Randy, who you can reach out to with any questions or to arrange a viewing. And let's be real, once you see this Mustang in person, you're going to want to take it home with you. I mean, just look at that stunning red paint job. It's the kind of color that just screams classic Mustang and is sure to turn heads wherever you go. And with a clean title and a manual transmission, this is the kind of car that's going to appeal to any true enthusiast. So if you're in the market for a classic Mustang that's been thoroughly rebuilt and is ready to hit the road, this 1966 model is definitely worth checking out. At just $12,500, it's a bargain for a car of this caliber. And I have a feeling it won't be on the market for long. Give Randy a call or shoot him a text today to arrange a viewing. Trust me, once you see this beauty in person and hear that engine roar to life, you'll be glad you did. Don't let this opportunity pass you by, Mustang fans. 11. All right, let's dive a little deeper into this 1985 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz, shall we? First off, can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that this car has only 89,000 miles on it? That's practically nothing for a classic car of this age. It's clear that the previous owners have taken excellent care of this beauty over the years, and it shows in every aspect of the vehicle. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but what about that damage on the front fender and the miscolored inserts? Well, let me put your minds at ease. These are such minor issues in the grand scheme of things, and they're the kind of things that any true car enthusiast would be more than happy to take care of. A little bit of bodywork and some touch-up paint, and this Eldorado will be looking absolutely flawless. And can we talk about the fact that this car has been garaged its entire life? That's the kind of thing that really sets it apart from other classic cars out there. You won't find any rust or weather-related damage on this Eldorado, and that's a testament to the care and attention it's received over the years. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 8-cylinder engine that's ready to roar to life. And with front-wheel drive, this Cadillac is going to handle like a dream on the road. Whether you're cruising down the highway or taking it for a spin around town, you'll be doing it in style and comfort. Now, I know the seller mentioned that the radio isn't working and the air conditioning needs to be converted to the new Freon. But honestly, those are such easy fixes that any mechanic worth their salt could handle in no time. And let's be real, when you're driving a classic car like this, do you really need the radio? The purr of that engine is all the music you'll need. The seller also mentioned that the price has been greatly reduced, and I have to say, I think it's an absolute bargain at $4,000. For a car of this quality and in this condition, you'd be hard-pressed to find a better deal anywhere else. And with a clean title and automatic transmission, you'll be able to jump right in and start enjoying this Eldorado from day one. So what are you waiting for, folks? If you're in the market for a classic car that's going to turn heads and make you the envy of every car enthusiast in town, this Eldorado Biarritz is the one for you. Give Patrick a call today and make this beauty yours before someone else snatches it up. 12. Have I got a deal for you today? We just spotted a 1978 Chevrolet Corvette on Craigslist that's sure to get your heart racing. This bad boy is priced at just $8,000, and it's not your average vet. It's a street-legal racer that's ready to tear up the track. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what about the condition? Well, the seller has listed it as being in good condition, and based on the description, it's clear that this Corvette has been built for one thing and one thing only: speed. Sure, it might not be in pristine showroom condition, but that's not what this car is about. It's about raw power and performance, and boy, does it deliver. Under the hood, you'll find a massive 454 big block engine that's ready to roar. And when I say roar, I mean it. This thing has run an 11.94 second quarter mile at a blistering 114 miles per hour. That's the kind of speed that'll make your heart skip a beat and put a huge grin on your face every time you mash the throttle. But the engine is just the beginning. This Corvette has been outfitted with a Power Glide transmission built by the renowned Mike's Trans Shop, complete with a trans brake for lightning-fast launches off the line. And with a 9-inch Ford rear end with 390 gears, this thing is built to put down some serious power and get you moving in a hurry. Of course, a car like this needs the right rubber to hook up all that power, and this Corvette doesn't disappoint. It's got Goodyear slicks with just 5 runs on them, so you know they're ready to grip and rip. Now, the seller does mention that the odometer is broken, so the actual mileage is unknown. But let's be real. With a car like this, the mileage is less important than the fact that it's been built to run hard and fast. And with an MSD ignition and safety equipment from D&J, you can rest assured that this Corvette is ready to do just that. The seller also notes that while the car has a clean title, it hasn't been registered in a few years, so it's basically a race car at this point. But hey, that's just more reason to take it to the new street legal track in Paris and let it loose. So if you're looking for a Corvette that's not just a pretty face, but a true performance machine, this 1978 model is definitely worth checking out. At just $8,000, it's a steal for a car with this kind of potential, and I have a feeling it won't be on the market for long. Give Bob a call today to learn more and arrange a viewing. And get ready to experience the thrill of the race in a car that's built to do just that. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. 13. We just spotted a 1976 Chevrolet El Camino on Craigslist, and let me tell you, this thing is a beauty. And the best part? The price has just been reduced to a mere $6,900. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What's the catch? But based on the seller's description, there really isn't one. This El Camino is a clean and original car that runs and drives like a dream. Under the hood, you'll find a 350 cubic inch V8 engine with a 2-barrel carburetor and dual exhaust, paired with a smooth shifting turbo 350 automatic transmission. That's the kind of classic drivetrain that'll put a smile on your face every time you turn the key. But it's not just about the mechanicals with this El Camino. The seller mentions that it's had a good repaint at some point in the past, and it shows. The paint looks great, and the glass is all in good condition too. And as far as we can tell, everything on this car seems to work as it should. Now, the seller does mention one small issue. There's a little bit of rust on the bottom of one quarter panel. But hey, that's to be expected with a classic car of this age, and it's nothing that a skilled bodywork technician couldn't fix up in no time. And honestly, it's a small price to pay for a car that's otherwise in such great shape. The odometer does show 55,000 miles, but the seller notes that it has rolled over, so the actual mileage is likely higher. But again, with a car like this, the mileage is less important than the overall condition and the way it runs. And based on the description, it's clear that this El Camino has been well cared for throughout its life. So if you're in the market for a classic El Camino that's ready to hit the road and turn some heads, this 1976 model is definitely worth checking out. The price is pretty firm at $6,900, but the seller does note that cash in hand talks. So if you're serious about making this beauty yours, it's worth reaching out and seeing if you can work out a deal. And just imagine the looks you'll get cruising down the street in this thing. With its classic lines, throaty exhaust note, and that gorgeous paint job, this El Camino is sure to be the star of any car show or cruise night you take it to. So what are you waiting for? If you've been dreaming of owning a classic El Camino, this 1976 model might just be the one you've been waiting for. Give the seller a call today and arrange a viewing. Just be prepared to fall in love with this beauty the moment you lay eyes on it. Trust me, it's that nice. We've got a real blast from the past. A 1978 Oldsmobile Cutless that's looking for a new home. This classic coupe is up for grabs on Craigslist with an asking price of $6,500. Now let's dive into the details. The seller admits that the car is in fair condition, which is pretty honest of them. It's been sitting for about 8 years, so it's no surprise that it might need a bit of TLC. But hey, that's part of the fun of owning a classic car, right? Under the hood, you'll find a mighty 8-cylinder engine that's ready to roar to life. The car has rear-wheel drive and runs on good old gasoline. The odometer reads 140,123 miles, which is pretty decent for a car of this age. And if you're a fan of the classic white paint job, you're in luck. This Cutless is rocking it. The seller has made some recent repairs to get this beauty back on the road. They've replaced the water pump belts, spark plugs, cables, rotor, and cab. They've even given it a fresh oil change with a new filter and air filter. So you can tell they've put some work into it. Now, the seller does mention that it might need a carburetor cleaning or just some running to clean out the lines, but hey, that's just part of the charm of owning a classic car. It's all about the journey, not just the destination. One thing to note is that the seller is firm on the price of $6,500. They've lost their parking space and need to sell, so they're not really in a position to negotiate. Overall, if you're looking for a classic coupe with a bit of character, this 1978 Oldsmobile Cutless might be just the thing. It's got a clean title, automatic transmission, and a whole lot of potential. Sure, it might need a bit of work, but that's half the fun. And at $6,500, it's a pretty solid deal for a piece of automotive history. 15. Have we got a treat for you today? We just spotted a 1980 Ford Mustang on Craigslist that's sure to get your heart racing. And the best part? It can be yours for just $5,000. Now I know what you might be thinking. A 4-cylinder Mustang, how much fun can that be? But hear me out. This Mustang may not be a fire-breathing V8 monster, but it's got plenty of charm and personality to make up for it. And based on the seller's description, it's clear that this car has been well loved and well cared for. The seller mentions that they've done a ton of work to this Mustang, which is always a good sign. It means that they've taken the time to address any issues and make sure that this car is running at its best. And while it may not win any drag races, the seller notes that it's an absolute blast to cruise around in. Under the hood, you'll find a 4-cylinder engine paired with a 4-speed manual transmission. And let me tell you, there's something seriously satisfying about rowing your own gears in a classic Mustang. It may not be the fastest thing on the road, but it's sure to put a smile on your face every time you get behind the wheel. The blue paint job looks great in the photos, and the seller describes the overall condition of the car as good. That's reassuring to hear, especially when you're dealing with a classic car that's over 40 years old. And with a clean title, you can rest assured that this Mustang is ready to hit the road and start making memories. Now, the seller does note that they're aware of all the Craigslist scams out there, which is always a good thing to hear. It means that they're a serious seller who's not looking to waste anyone's time or money. And if you have any questions or want to learn more about this Mustang, the seller encourages you to give them a call or shoot them a text. So if you're in the market for a classic Mustang that's got plenty of character and charm, this 1980 model is definitely worth checking out. Sure, it may not be the fastest or the flashiest car out there, but it's got a certain je ne sais quoi that's hard to resist. And at just $5,000, it's a bargain for a piece of automotive history that's sure to turn heads and start conversations wherever you go. Imagine cruising down the street in this baby, the wind in your hair and the sun on your face. It's the kind of experience that every car enthusiast dreams of, and with this Mustang, it can be your reality. So what are you waiting for? Give the seller a call today and arrange a viewing, and get ready to fall in love with a classic Mustang that's got plenty of heart and soul. Trust me, you won't regret it. 16. Have we got a deal for you today? We just spotted a 1979 Lincoln Town Car on Craigslist, and let me tell you, this thing is a true gem. And the best part? It can be yours for just $2,800. Now I know what you might be thinking. A town car from the 70s. Is it even still running? But based on the seller's description, not only is this baby running, but it's running good. That's right. Under the hood, you'll find a beefy 400 engine that's ready to hit the road and eat up some miles. The seller does note that this town car is from out of state, which could mean a few different things. But the important thing is that it's got a clean title, so you won't have to worry about any pesky paperwork issues. And while it may not be in perfect condition, the seller mentions that it needs a good cleaning, it's still a solid car that's ready for its next adventure. One thing that really stands out about this town car is its rarity. The seller notes that these cars are getting pretty hard to find, which means that you're not just getting a classic car, you're getting a piece of automotive history. And with just 58,567 miles on the odometer, this town car has plenty of life left in it. The gray paint job looks great in the photos, and while it may not be showroom perfect, it's still a looker. And with a coupe body style, this town car has a sleek and stylish profile that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. Now I know that some folks might be hesitant to take on a project car like this, but the seller makes a great point. This town car is a fantastic starting point for anyone looking to get into the classic car game. It may need a little TLC, but with some elbow grease and a vision, this car could be a true showstopper. And just imagine the looks you'll get when you roll up to your next car show or cruise night in this beauty. With its classic lines, spacious interior, and that unmistakable 70s style, this town car is sure to be the talk of the town. So if you're ready to take on a new project and make a piece of automotive history your own, this town car is definitely worth checking out. Give the seller a call today and arrange a viewing. Just be prepared to fall in love with this classic beauty the moment you lay eyes on it. And at just $2,800, This town car is a bargain for anyone looking to get into the classic car game without breaking the bank. So what are you waiting for? Make this town car yours today and start making some memories behind the wheel of a true American classic. 17. We just spotted a 1972 Buick Electra 225 on Craigslist, and let me tell you, this thing is a true beauty. And the best part? It can be yours for just $11,000. Now, I know that might seem like a lot of money for a car that's almost 50 years old, but trust me when I say that this Electra 225 is worth every penny. First of all, just look at that odometer reading. A mere 60,000 original miles? That's practically nothing for a car of this age, and it's a testament to the incredible care and maintenance that this Buick has received over the years. But low mileage isn't the only thing this Electra 225 has going for it. The seller describes the overall condition of the car as great, which is music to any classic car lover's ears. And when you take a look at the photos, it's easy to see why. The blue paint job is absolutely stunning, and it looks like it's been well maintained over the years. The chrome trim is shining bright, and the overall appearance of the car is just immaculate. Of course, with any classic car, there are bound to be a few minor issues here and there. The seller does mention that this Electra 225 needs some detailing, which is to be expected for a car of this age. But honestly, that's just a small price to pay for the opportunity to own such an incredible piece of automotive history. And let's talk about that engine for a minute. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 8-cylinder engine that's ready to hit the road and eat up some miles. The seller notes that this Electra 225 runs amazing, which is exactly what you want to hear when you're considering a classic car purchase. And with an automatic transmission, you'll be able to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride in true 70s style. Now, I know that some folks might be hesitant to take on a classic car like this. After all, they can be a lot of work to maintain and keep running smoothly. But the seller has made it clear that this Electra 225 is in great shape and has been well cared for over the years. And with a clean title, you won't have to worry about any pesky paperwork issues either. So if you're ready to make a statement on the road and own a true piece of American automotive history, this Buick is definitely worth checking out. Just imagine rolling up to your next car show or cruise night in this baby. You'll be the talk of the town and the envy of every other classic car owner there. And at just $11,000, this Electra 225 is a bargain for anyone who appreciates the finer things in life. Sure, it might need a little bit of detailing here and there, but that's just part of the fun of owning a classic car. And with such low mileage and a great overall condition, you can rest assured that this Buick has plenty of life left in it. So what are you waiting for? Give the seller a call today and arrange a viewing. And get ready to fall in love with a true American classic that's sure to turn heads and drop jaws wherever you go. Trust me, you won't regret it. 18. Hey there, Chevelle fans. Have we got a deal for you today? We just spotted a 1973 Chevrolet Chevelle on Craigslist that's sure to get your heart racing. And the best part? It can be yours for just $10,000 or best offer. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A Chevelle for $10K? What's the catch? But based on the seller's description, there really isn't one. This car is in excellent condition and has been well maintained over the years. The seller notes that it starts and runs great with no mechanical issues to speak of. And with a rebuilt 350 engine that has just 10,000 miles on it, you can rest assured that this Chevelle has plenty of life left in it. But the engine isn't the only thing that's been upgraded on this beauty. The seller mentions that it has a new Edelbrock 4-barrel carburetor, which is sure to give it some serious power and performance. And with a 4-speed Saginaw transmission, you'll be able to row your own gears and truly feel the thrill of driving a classic muscle car. The red paint job looks absolutely stunning in the photos, and the seller describes the overall condition of the car as excellent. That's a word that gets thrown around a lot in the classic car world, but in this case, it seems to be entirely accurate. The chrome trim is shining bright, the bodywork looks straight and clean, and the interior appears to be in great shape as well. Of course, no classic car is perfect, and the seller does mention a few things that need to be addressed. The Chevelle currently lacks air conditioning, seatbelts, and headrests, which are all important safety features that you'll want to add if you plan on driving it regularly. But honestly, those are relatively minor issues that can be easily addressed by any competent mechanic or restoration shop. One thing that really stands out about this Chevelle is the fact that it has power disc brakes up front and drums in the back, as well as power steering and heat. Those are all features that make driving a classic car a lot more enjoyable and comfortable, and they're not always easy to find on a car of this age. The seller is asking $10,000 or best offer for this Chevelle, which might seem like a lot of money at first glance. But when you consider the excellent condition of the car, the upgrades and features it has, and the fact that it's a true classic muscle car, it starts to look like a bargain. And the fact that the seller is willing to consider offers means that there may be some wiggle room on the price for serious buyers. Speaking of serious buyers, the seller mentions that they would consider test drives for those who are truly interested in purchasing the car. That's always a good sign, as it shows that the seller is confident in the condition and performance of the vehicle. And it gives you a chance to get behind the wheel and experience the thrill of driving a classic Chevelle for yourself. So if you're in the market for a true American muscle car that's in excellent condition and ready to hit the road, this Chevelle is definitely worth checking out. With its rebuilt engine, upgraded carburetor, and classic good looks, it's sure to turn heads and drop jaws wherever you go. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Give the seller a call today and arrange a viewing and test drive. And get ready to fall in love with a piece of automotive history that's sure to provide you with years of driving excitement and enjoyment. Trust me, you won't regret it. 19. Have we got a treat for you today? We just spotted a 1963 Ford Falcon on Craigslist that's sure to get your heart racing. And the best part? It can be yours for just $10,000. Now I know what you might be thinking. A Falcon from the 60s? Is it even still running? But based on the seller's description, not only is this baby running, but it's running great. The seller notes that it starts, runs, and drives like a dream thanks to its 4L 6-cylinder engine. And with just 63,000 miles on the odometer, this Falcon has plenty of life left in it. But the engine isn't the only thing that's been well maintained on this classic ride. The seller has recently done a ton of work to make sure that this Falcon is in top shape. They've rebuilt the carburetor, replaced the entire brake system, including lines, the clutch, distributor cap, speedometer cable, spark plugs and lines, and even the tires and rims. They've also measured the points, greased the Zerk fittings, and replaced all the fluids. That's the kind of attention to detail that you love to see in a classic car. Of course, with any vehicle that's over 50 years old, there are bound to be a few things that need some work. The seller does mention that the Falcon needs some body and interior work, but they also note that it could be a great show car with a little bit of TLC. And let's be honest, there aren't many of these beauties around anymore, so it's definitely worth putting in the effort to make it shine. The red paint job looks great in the photos, and the seller describes the overall condition of the car as good. That's reassuring to hear, especially when you're dealing with a classic car that's been around for over half a century. And with a clean title in hand, you can rest assured that there won't be any pesky paperwork issues to deal with. Now, I know that some folks might be hesitant to take on a project car like this. After all, they can be a lot of work to maintain and keep running smoothly. But the seller has made it clear that they're only selling this Falcon because it's not the most convenient daily driver. And with all the recent upgrades and maintenance, you can be sure that it's in great shape mechanically. The seller is asking $12,000 firm for this Falcon, which might seem like a lot at first glance. But when you consider the rarity of these cars, the recent upgrades, and the overall condition, it starts to look like a pretty fair price. And the fact that the seller is firm on the price means that they know what they've got and aren't willing to let it go for less than it's worth. So if you're ready to take on a new project and make a piece of automotive history your own, this 1963 Ford Falcon is definitely worth checking out. Just imagine cruising down the street in this classic beauty, turning heads and dropping jaws everywhere you go. It's the kind of experience that every car enthusiast dreams of. If you're interested, the seller asks that you give them a call directly. No tire kickers or time wasters, please. And who knows, with a little bit of work and a lot of love, this Falcon could be the show-stopping classic car you've always wanted. 20. Have we got a deal for you today? We just spotted a 1965 Chevrolet C10 on Craigslist that's sure to make your heart skip a beat. And the best part? It can be yours for just $13,500. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A C10 from the 60s, is it even still running? But based on the seller's description, not only is this baby running, but it's driving too. That's right, this classic Chevy truck is ready to hit the road and turn some heads. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 8-cylinder engine that's ready to roar to life. And with a manual transmission, you'll be able to feel the raw power of this truck every time you shift gears. There's just something about driving a classic truck with a stick shift that feels so right, doesn't there? Now, the seller does describe the overall condition of the truck as good, which is always reassuring to hear. But let's be real. With a vehicle that's over 50 years old, there are bound to be a few imperfections here and there. The important thing is that it runs and drives, and that's exactly what this C10 does. The odometer shows just 40,000 miles, which is pretty incredible for a truck of this age. Of course, it's always possible that the odometer has rolled over at some point, but even if that's the case, it's clear that this C10 has been well cared for over the years. And speaking of care, the seller mentions that this truck has a clean title, which is always a good sign. You won't have to worry about any pesky paperwork issues or legal troubles when you take this beauty home. Now, I know that the asking price of $13,500 might seem a bit steep at first glance. But when you consider the rarity of these classic trucks, the overall condition, and the fact that it runs and drives, it starts to look like a pretty fair deal. And let's be honest, you're not just buying a truck here. You're buying a piece of American automotive history. Just imagine cruising down the street in this classic C10, feeling the rumble of that 8-cylinder engine beneath you. You'll be the envy of every car enthusiast in town, and you'll have a truck that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. Of course, with any classic vehicle, there's always the possibility that it will need some work down the line, but that's just part of the fun of owning a piece of history like this. You'll get to tinker with it, make it your own, and really get to know every inch of this incredible machine. So if you're ready to take on a new project and make a statement on the road, this C10 is definitely worth checking out. Give the seller a call today and arrange a viewing. Just be prepared to fall in love with this classic truck the moment you lay eyes on it. And who knows, with a little bit of elbow grease and some TLC, this C10 could be the showstopper you've always dreamed of owning. So what are you waiting for? Make this truck yours today and start making some memories behind the wheel.